Good morning, students. Students, you know the importance of measurement in our daily life. We often talk about things like what is the length of the room, how much time will be taken by us to go to school, how much sugar is required for preparing halwa. Measurement are necessary to know the answer to such questions. So, students, today I'm going to start the chapter that is measurement and motion. Proper measurement are very important in our day-to-day life. We cannot manage things just by guessing about different quantities. For example, suppose one tailor wants 1 meter of cloth for his or her dress, and if the shopkeeper gives the cloths just by guess, it may turn out to be less or more than the tailor's requirement. In the first case, the dress would not get made, and in the second case, there would be a wastage of cloth. None of this is desirable. Hence, the shopkeeper correctly measures 1 meter of cloth and gives it to the tailor. We can think of many more suitable examples for our daily life that tell us that we cannot do without proper measurement of different physical quantities. Now, the quantities which are measurable are called physical quantities. The quantities which can be get measured are known as physical quantities. Suppose we are asked to find the length of a given table. In the absence of any instrument, we may decide to use the span of our hand for this purpose. We carry out the measurement and may come up with the answer that the length of the given table is 6 hand spans. A close look at this measurement reveals that we have used two things to express it. We have used a number and a fixed known quantity, that is hand span. The latter is called the unit. That means in this case hand span is known as the unit. The former, that is the number, tells us as to how many times does our unit or hand span get contained in the length of the table to be measured. We thus realize that measurement is basically a process of comparison of some unknown quantity with some known fixed quantity, and that is known as unit. We need both the number as well as the unit to express the measurement in a proper and complete way. Students, if we will measure the length of different things using a hand span or foot step, we will find that it differ for person to person. Now, what we will do in that cases? In such cases, which of the measurement results should then be accepted as the correct one, because it will differ for person to person. If the length of a table is 5 hand span for one person, it may be 6 hand span for others. So here there is no clear choice. We can avoid this type of situation only if we have a unit that is same for measurements done by one and all. Such an agreed and internationally accepted unit of a given physical quantity is known as the standard unit for that physical quantity. The standard unit of three basic quantities, length, time, and mass, are: standard unit of length is meter, standard unit of time is second, and standard unit of mass is kilogram. We now have a standard set or system of units of different physical quantities, and this system used and accepted all over the world, and it is known as the international system of units. We usually use the short name of the unit, that is SI unit, for this system of units. So students, this is the standard unit of measuring different physical quantities. We often measure different types of lengths in our daily life. We may need to measure the length of a table in our room, the length of a playground in our school, the length of a pencil in our school bag, and so on. We either use a meter scale or a measuring tape for this purpose. Meter scales are available in different sizes. There are meter scales that are 1 meter long, half a meter long, zero point 0.3 meter long, or 30 centimeters long, and 0.15 meter or 15 centimeters long. Measuring tapes are much longer in length. They may be up to 10 meters long or more. For measuring a given length, we select a scale of appropriate size. However, we have to follow a proper procedure for getting a correct value of a measured length. Now I am going to show how to what are the points that have to be kept in mind while measuring a given length. Now, the points that have to be kept in mind while measuring a given length are: we have to place the scale in such a manner so that its divisions are very close to the length to be measured. Also, the edge of the scale should be parallel to the length to be measured or should coincide with it. Second point is, keep the scale exactly along the length to be measured. If it is kept even a little tilted, the measurement will be incorrect. Third one, the zero mark of the scale should coincide with one end of the length to be measured. Fourth point, keep the eye vertically above the end point and in line with the reading to be taken. If we look at it from sides, the readings will be somewhat different and incorrect. Fifth one, do not use worn out or broken portions of the meter scale for measuring length. The correct way of using a worn out scale is shown in the picture as you are watching. So these are the tapes by using which in proper manner you can measure different length of different objects. There are so many methods by using which you can measure the length by using these scales or tapes. So students, the next topic we will discuss in next session. Thank you. Have a nice day.